This is an ultimate guide for catching bass and catfish using bluegill as live bait. This style of fishing takes a little extra work, but it can be rewarding with some remarkable catches. I've heard old-timers say the best way to catch the biggest bass in the pond is by using live bluegill. This video will show you how to turn bluegill into those trophy bass bites. Did you know that in ponds with healthy bluegill populations, bluegill can make up 50% or more of a grown bass's diet? Match the hatch is a popular fishing adage, which means try using baits that resemble natural forage. Oh, okay, well let's take that further and literally use the same food that the bass and catfish are already eating. This video is primarily focused on targeting largemouth bass, but this is also a great way to catch big catfish. This video covers everything you need to know to be successful using live bluegill for bass and catfish, including the following: navigating regulations, how to catch the bluegill, including recommended rods, reels, bait, and strategies, how to catch the bass or catfish themselves, also covering recommended rods, reels, and techniques, and then common mistakes and frequently asked questions. Also, I've included links to relevant gear in the video description. Section 1, Regulations. Check your local fishing regulations about fishing with live bluegill. At the very least, most states classify bluegill as a game species, which means you must follow the possession and size limits for bluegill. Here in Texas, it's legal to use bluegill as bait, but in some states like Minnesota, it's completely illegal. Make sure to check the rules before you even put a hook in the water. There also may or not be other requirements like the following. They may need to be caught on hook and line. Transport or sale of bluegill may be restricted or illegal. Bluegill may need to be used in the same body of water they were caught, and it may just be flat illegal to use bluegill as bait in your state. Long story short, check your local fishing regulations before you try fishing like this. Section 2, Catching bluegill. This section covers where to find bluegill, what gear you need to catch them, and how best to catch and transport them. Bluegill are a pervasive prey species that are most easily found near cover that offers them protection like docks or weed lines. Ideally, we're looking for juvenile bluegill that are in that 3 to 6 inch range. We're not looking for huge, mature, dinner plate sized bluegill because they're just too big for most bass and catfish to eat. During this session, I started by checking some weed edges without too much luck. Eventually, I realized the bluegill were piled up under the small pier on this pond. Just look at this. Another popular area to look is at submerged trees where bluegill will hang around the limbs. There are a few options for rod, reel, and line. The optimal setup in a vacuum is a super light panfish setup, but I have a different recommendation that works better for most people. A huge thanks to PC Fun for sponsoring this video and providing these rods and reels to show my preferred way to fish with live bluegill. If you want to pick up the same gear, I have a link in the description with code JA18 for 18% off any orders. Frankly, bluegill are pretty easy to catch, and the difference between a good enough setup and an optimum setup doesn't really matter in practice. Instead of going and buying a new ultralight panfish setup, I recommend bass anglers use a bass fishing spinning combo because it's good enough for catching bluegill, and then you can easily repurpose it to fishing with the bluegill. Here, I have a PC Fun NautiX size 3000 spooled up with 15-pound straight braid paired with their Carbon R1 7-foot medium light spinning rod. This is a great setup for regular bass fishing, and as you'll see here in a second, it works perfect in a pinch for catching some bluegill for bait. I will note, I really appreciated that these PC Fun rods were shipped in hard cardboard tubes that actually protected the rods. I've had other rods shipped from different companies in cardboard boxes that, to no one's surprise, had damaged rod guides when they showed up. There are two main rigs I recommend for catching bluegill like this. The most simple rig is simply straight lining. Add a small hook like a size 8 Aberdeen or bait holder hook, and a split shot if you want to add a little weight. This rig is ideal for situations like this where I can literally dip my bait in the water and dozens of bluegill immediately come up after it. The second rig is some kind of float or a bobber if you need to cast out to something like a weed edge. My favorite is what's called a slip bobber, where you can adjust the depth as much as you want. To rig a slip bobber, you need a bobber stop, an optional bead, a slip bobber, a hook, and a couple split shot. First, slide the bobber stop onto your line. Next, add the bead. The bead is optional, but it does help with the knot-style bobber stops getting stuck in the top of your bobber. Now, thread your line through the slip bobber. Next, tie in your hook. Finish the rig by adding split shot about 6 inches above your hook. To adjust the fishing depth, move the stopper where it is on your line. For both of these rigs, you have a few options for bait. If you have access to them, small worms are probably the best option because they're highly desirable to bluegill, plus they're robust enough to stay on your hook. The downside of worms is you either need to go buy them or dig some up. My top recommendation though is bring a slice of bread and ball up a tiny little piece onto your hook. Just look how wild these bluegill go for some bread. Yes, the bread will fall off once it's wet and you'll miss a few bluegill that nip your bait off, but if you just power through the few misses and bait steals, you can easily get enough bluegill for use as bait. A pro tip is to chum the water with some breadcrumbs to cluster the bluegill and then drop your baited hook right into the middle. You'll have a bite immediately. A third option is soft plastic baits. Here, I'm trying a micro-soft plastic bait. As you can see, the bluegill somewhat take interest, but it's nowhere near as exciting to them as the bread was. I did manage to catch a small bass with this setup, which was a nice surprise. Well, it's not a bluegill, but it is the eventual target species. I recommend keeping your bluegill alive in a bucket. A small battery-powered aerator will go a long way in keeping them alive, especially if it's hot out. When I fish like this, I like to catch around 5 bluegill, then swap over to bass and catfish fishing. One final tip is to bring narrow forceps. Bluegill have really itty-bitty small mouths, and your regular fishing pliers are too big to fit in them and get a deep hook set out. Section 3, Fishing with Bluegill. Now that we have bluegill for bait, it's time to get to the real business, catching big bass or catfish. This section covers recommended gear, rigging methods, and spots to fish. Fun fact, bass like to eat bluegill head first because it lets them swallow in a way that folds down the bluegill's spines. Starting with gear, the minimalist and budget approach is to use the same bluegill rod to bass fish. Cut off your small bluegill hook and rig up your bass fishing setup. This is another reason I like to use a bass spinning rod because it lets you bring one rod for multiple uses. Medium light or medium power rods are perfect for this. Another option, I recommend going with more of a catfishing setup for fishing with live bluegill. I say this because there's a decent chance to hook up with a big catfish using this fishing technique, and you want enough backbone to pull a big fish quickly away from snags that may otherwise result in a broken line or a lost fish. The setup I'm going with is an 8-foot PC Fun Lumicat II Catfish Rod for a few reasons. 1. The 8-foot rod length allows for long casts, especially if I'm bank fishing and want to be able to cast out to deeper water. And 2, it has enough backbone for heavy 1 to 4 ounce bottom rigs and to horse big fish away from cover without a protracted fight. I have it paired with a Chaos XS 5000 size round reel that functions like your normal bait caster, where you click the button to release a line and you have your standard spool tension knob and centrifugal brakes. I've picked this reel because round reels like this tend to have significant line capacities for long lengths of heavy line. This 5000 size can hold 260 yards of 40-pound braid, which is perfect for the off chance I hook a mondo catfish that takes off the other direction. It also has a massive 20-pound max drag rating if I really need to pull a big fish in. As a reminder, I have links to the gear used in this video in the description if you want easy recommendations for relevant equipment. I'm rigged up with 40-pound braid, which is on the heavier side in case I hook a monster. I think a good lighter alternative setup would be a medium power spinning rod with 15 or 20-pound line. For rigs, there are 3 popular choices. The first is freelining the bluegill, where you tie on a hook and that's it. This setup gives a lot of freedom for the bluegill to swim around, plus it usually keeps the bluegill alive. I like to use circle hooks from 3/0 size for smaller bluegill up to around 5/0 for a larger bluegill. Note, the bigger the hook, the more it will weigh down the bluegill and risk killing the bait quickly. The second rig is a bottom rig, where you add a heavy weight to your setup to get your bluegill down to bottom. My favorite is a Carolina rig, where you need an egg sinker between 1 and 3 ounces, an optional bead, a swivel, a couple feet of leader line, and your hook. First, slip your sinker onto your line, then add your optional bead, which can help stop the sinker beating up your knot. Next, tie your line to the swivel. Now, tie around 2 feet of leader line to the other side of the swivel. I like to use 20 to 40 pound mono for this kind of setup. Finally, tie your hook at the end of your leader. This rig is good because the weight will go to bottom, but your bluegill can still swim around freely and not be weighed down. The final rig is rigging the bluegill under some kind of float. Picture this. You rig up a 4-inch bluegill on a float, toss it out, and suddenly your float vanishes. Talk about getting your heart thumping. In this session, I hooked a nice bass in my float, but I hesitated near the boat and unfortunately it came off. For all 3 of these rigs, there are a few options for how to hook the bluegill. I like to use circle hooks because the design of the hook will essentially automatically hook the bass or catfish eating your bait. Reel into the fish with circle hooks. You do not need to perform a big jerking hook set because you'll probably just pull the hook out of the fish's mouth. The first option is nose hooking the bluegill, where you hook the bluegill up through the bottom lip, then out the top of the front of the head. Make sure to not go through the brain because you do want your fish to stay alive. This option is good because if there's any current or you frequently reel in your bait to reposition, the bluegill will stay alive better than some of the alternative options. The next most popular option is through the upper back behind the dorsal fin. This is a good option if you're planning to let your bait sit for a long time because it will swim around naturally. This rigging is not great if you have current because it will cause the bluegill to be pulled backwards against the current and it will die quickly. As a general tip, do what you can to keep your bluegill alive and swimming around. Heavy weights weighing down your bait or like a non-aerated bait bucket in the heat will kill your bait quickly. Lively bait will catch more fish. To fish bluegill, I like to target deeper spots near structure like drop-offs or down trees. Another option is just cast out into the deepest part of your pond or lake. Many folks will toss their bait out and wait for long periods until a big fish takes their bait. This is a relaxing way to fish and I would highly recommend. If you're a little more active, nose hook your bluegill and working along points and shorelines. Nose hooking the bluegill lets you retrieve their bait without killing it, and you can actively target bass you see. You can see here that I notice a big bass that slurps up my bluegill, but unfortunately the hook doesn't bite, so she gets a free snack. In conclusion, next time you're out, think about skipping the lures and try live bluegill. You might just hook your personal best. Live bluegill are an incredible option for targeting bass and catfish. It takes a little extra work, but with the right equipment and tactics, you can quickly catch a few bluegill and be in the water waiting for that big bite in no time. Make sure to check your local regulations to ensure this is allowed in your state. I've included links to useful gear shown in this video in the description. Subscribe for more useful fishing content.